it may be time now to move on to the next section.
Kochi,
Yes.
his interaction with the Shadga
তুমি
villagers.
mark.
Okay.
So that's coming up now.
Yes.
With family and other animals. So yes.
So yeah. So I think what's lined up is Ma and Baba's visit to Bangladesh.
All right, we'll do that first.
হ্যাঁ মা তুমি কি একটু বলবে তোমাদের যাওয়া নিয়ে?
No, I'll put on the video first.
Okay, yeah, let's put on the video because I think you can't see her.
এমনিতে তো যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে সব এসছে, একজন বলল যে আমার আব্বার সাথে, মানে বাবার কথা বললো যে আমার আব্বার সাথে খেলতো, আব্বার নাম কি বললো, খলিল, সেরকম তো নানান লোকে এসে বললো। তারপরে যখন ফিরে আসছি, ওখান থেকে বেরিয়ে যে রাস্তাটা একটা বাঁক নিয়েছে, সেখানে দেখি কয়েকজন দাঁড়িয়ে আছে মুরব্বির মতন সব। তারপরে তার থামালো, বলে আপনি কার পোলা? শঙ্করই বলে দিয়েছে, সাধন গুপ্ত। হ্যাঁ, কার পোলা? তাই আমি বললাম যোগেশ গুপ্ত। হ তাই ক, আমরা সাধন গুপ্তরে চিনি না, আমরা যোগেশ গুপ্তরে চিনি। তারপরে আমাকে গাড়ি থেকে নামালো, নামিয়ে সবাই একেবারে জড়িয়ে ধরেছে, একদমই জাপটাইয়া একদম। সেটা একটা মানে অদ্ভুত এক্সপিরিয়েন্স। তারপর আরেকটা ইন্টারেস্টিং জিনিস, সেটা মিতালিকে তুমি বলো।
বাচ্চারা ওখানে মহিলারা আমাকে নিয়ে গেলে তাদের গ্রামের ঘরে, ওখানে পাশে যারা আছে, তো আমি বললাম যে, বলে আমাগো বাড়ি থাইক্কা যান, আজকা আমাগো বাড়ি থাইক্কা যান। তো আমি বললাম যে হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে থাকবো। তখন বলছে যে না আপনি থাকবেন কেন, আমরা তো গরিব, আপনারা তো বড় লোক। তো আমি বললাম যে তোরা কি করে জানিস আমরা বড় লোক আর তোরা গরিব? বলে আপনাদের তো পাকা দালান, আমাদের তো পাকা দালান না, আপনারা থাকবেন কেন? আমি বললাম আমাকে পাকা দালান তো ভাঙা। তারপরে বলছে যে ওই পাকা দালানে ভূত আছে। তখন আমি বললাম যে ভূত কীরকম ভূত? তখন বলছে যে অনেক ভূত, তারা রাত্রিবেলা রান্না করে, গান গায়, কথা কয়।
রান্না করে গান গায় মানে গুপ্ত বাড়ির ভূত, কোনো সন্দেহ নাই।
By the way, for those interested, this is an excerpt from a 9-minute audio which I can post in the group, which is very, very interesting. Over to you, Kochi.
Okay. So moving on to Roju's family and his love for animals. We're going to play next something that Mitali wrote.
একাকী শয্যায় রাত্রির আকাশ ফুটো হয়ে নেমে আসে জ্যোৎস্নার জল। সেই জলে চমকে থমকে থাকি। মৃত্যু ডাক দেয়, এসো। দক্ষিণে তাকালে স্বপ্নের ভেতর তুমি অপেক্ষায় অধীর। তোমার চোখের চাঁদে প্রতিশ্রুতি এঁকে ডেকে বলেছ, যেও না, আমি আসব। সমস্ত শাখায় কৃষ্ণচূড়া ফুটে উঠুক, আমি আসব। ফিরে আসি মৃত্যুহীন তোমার দিকে, প্রসারিত পুষ্পের হাত, যার জন্যে মৃত্যুর মোহ থেকে ফিরে আসা নির্দ্বিধায় তুমি পাশে বসেছিলে। এত কাছাকাছি, তবু কথা হয়নি।
Yes. There's more to follow. And of course, it's very difficult to follow something of that's so heartfelt.
Okay. I can't. Okay. Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
The internet. Oh, excellent. Um, so the other thing I mean, the other thing that I wanted to bring in Ma for was that you know that Baba and Ma started Learning and Living Resources Society,
Yes.
which works specifically with with pre-primary teachers training in the Montessori method. And Baba, in fact, had designed not only not only the 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 magazine, the monthly magazine that used to come out, but also a lot of the courses. So that's going into educational design, um, and also like a lot of the tools and a lot of the uh, the sort of like educational toys that you use in Montessori method. A lot of that he had, and for that he actually Ma was, the first person to sort of go through the entire course and learn about it. But then he actually sat down and learned the entire, it's a philosophy almost, of Montessori method training, and then he applied it and created uh, all these courses. Um, so that was okay. So we'll move on and wait for Ma to come.
Okay.
Okay, and so next we is Tukadidi. Are you here?
Yeah, took us there.
Okay. So Tukadidi, do you want to? Yeah. Yeah. তুমি হ্যাঁ
Bolo, tell me.
Go ahead, Tukai.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was told that Mama was born at midnight when the clock struck 12. And I believe there were others listening to the radio during that time because he was born at home. And when it was announced that, and at the stroke of midnight, Jesus was born. And there was a wail of a baby in the next room. That was my mama, and he was born right then. So for believers, he's shown a path, not just one, but many, of quiet, silent presence and a very inspiring path, I think. And for people like him, I remember the last picture that he sent to us on a family WhatsApp group that I was following when he was hospitalized. He was in bed and he had this contraption on his head, and I thought it was his crown of thorns, and he was paying very dearly for it. He's inspired me and many of us in the family in a number of ways. Speaking about his political, the kind of political strength that he had, he just needed to, I remember I was in college during that time. I was studying, I was at university, and he took me along for campaigning, election campaigning. And we went from door to door speaking about the party and why we think people should vote for the party. And I'd asked him, what do you feel is the one thing that this party has that others don't? And he said ideology. And that has stayed with me even now. Later, when I was at university and we were doing street plays, when Sardar Hashmi had been killed on the streets for performing Aurat, we were performing Aurat in the streets of Calcutta and in the outskirts of Calcutta. He was my inspiration during that time. When I was singing International, I was remembering my mama and my dadu, of course. So he didn't know, I never got to telling him that. But when I sing Jago, 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 Shorbohara, or No Shon, it is him. I mean, it's him, it's Dadu, it's my Dimma. And, these are memories that I have. And I've never really got around to telling him that even in his very quiet way, he's inspired a lot in us. When I was very small, I was brought up in the hills, and he had sent, he was probably already at NID during that time. And on behalf of my grandparents, he wrote a letter to me. It was an illustrated letter. It had train cars going up and down hills of images of Dadu and Dimma wanting to come and see me. And it was it had a lot of colors. I had never received a letter like that ever in my life. And I used to read it again and again and again and again. I missed my Dadu and Dimma, but now I know that it stayed on with me because of the way it was written, because of the way it arrived. And I don't know where it is today, but that is one memory I have. He was a very absent-minded person. Once when he came to see us in Darjeeling, in Kurseong, my Dimma had told him, I think Mashi was also there. She was also visiting with Mama. Mashi had told him to bring lychees for us. Dimma had, my grandmother had asked him to bring lychees for us. And she had instructed, 300 lichu niye jabi, which means 300 in number. And he got us just 300 grams of lychees. He brought them from Kolkata and he arrived in Kurseong with just 300 grams of lychees. So little things like that, khub mone pore. And then later when Mimi came into his life, my Mimi, when they were courting each other, I was witness to one of their first meetings, I think. They had been introduced and they had come over to the house in Theatre Road. And I was with Pamma, my great-grandmother, which is my mama's grandmother. And I was very curious because there was this new Mashi who had come, who was sitting with Mama, talking in a room. I really wanted to be there, and I wanted to be there and, be a part of the conversation. And Pamma, my great-grandmother, kept calling, Bacha, tumi edike esho. And আমি বলছি কেন আমি তো গিয়ে গল্প করতে চাই মিতালি মাসি এসছে মামা আছে গল্প করতে চাই আমি না তুমি যাবে না ওখানে you cannot go there. So asked her why, কেন আমি যেতে পারবো না আমিও নাছর বান্দা তো পাম্মা told me তুমি যাবে না ওরা পার্টির কথা বলছে. So in her typical way, and she shut me down. She made me sit next to her, and I was stuck in that bedroom, not allowed to spend time with Mama and Mimi. And speaking of them as a couple, I think they have inspired each other so much. After they got married, Mimi inspired Mama to carry on with his education. Mama in turn, I think must have inspired her to do the great body of social work that my Mimi has done. I'm very proud of her. Mama was a very silent, he inspired in a very silent way. He didn't have to say much. And I think his very presence, the ideology that he's always stood by steadfastly and very silently, he did for people and didn't tell people that he was doing anything. So সেটা আমার কাছে খুব বড় একটা প্রাপ্তি আমরা সেরকম হতে পারছি কিনা জানি না, but I think খুব নিঃশব্দে মানুষের জন্য করতে পারা ভাবতে পারা সেখানেই আসল জয়. And that is something that Rono Joy, I think he's won that battle. কখনো প্রচার করতে হয়নি মামাকে what he যে কি সে মানুষটা করতে চায় বা করতে পেরেছে. He just inspired. He just he was there and he inspired. And Ma Bolcha, my mother was saying, speaking about the essay that Mama had could write on a cow. I was the one who had gone to him. And Mama ke bolechi, Mama, how can I make this essay different? Suppose I want to write an essay on a cow. How do you think I could make it different? So he didn't say anything. At a kagoj kolomni, he penned down something, and I was in awe of his handwriting, his collection of pens in the corner of the veranda, room in the veranda that he had. And we were not allowed to touch those pens. He was very possessive, calligraphy korto gulo diye. Beautiful handwriting. He wrote an essay on a cow. And it was a story about a friendship with a cow and how the cow was also useful to human beings. It had content, typical essay te lage. But, so he taught me that you could always be different and be happy about it. You didn't have to fall in. You didn't have to conform. অন্যদের মতো হতে হবে তা নয়, তোমার মতো হয়ে থাকো. That is I think that is a lesson that we've all tried to take in our own way. পেরেছি কি পারিনি, কি কে পারছে জানি না, but seeing Gogol and Gorky and the kind of commitment they have to what they do, I think there's a lot of mama in them that I can see. So and I'm very proud of my brothers. I'm very proud of them. And I love Mimi a lot. And I miss Mama. I really miss him. I think they don't make them like him anymore.
In this section, we had a song to conclude this this section. That we've got more sections on Runju. Are we in a position to play that song now, Manda?
I'll just try. I'll just try. It's yeah.
This is Buyo's song, Amar Praner Pore.
Amar Praner Pore chole gelo ke bosonte বাতাস টুকুর মতো সে যে ছুঁয়ে গেল, নুয়ে গেল রে, ফুল ফুটিয়ে গেল শত শত, সে চলে গেল বলে বসে আছি কুসুম বনেতে, তাই আপন মনে বসে আছি কুসুম বনেতে। সে ঢেউয়ের মতো ভেসে গেছে চাঁদের আলোর দেশে গেছে, সে ঢেউয়ের মতো ভেসে গেছে চাঁদের আলোর দেশে গেছে। যেখান দিয়ে হেসে গেছে হাসি তার রেখে গেছে রে।
Yeah, that's it.
Great. So we've got 2 more sections left. And there's an aspect of Ranajay, which you would all probably know of him as a naturalist.